Throughout history, certain houses become much more than just addresses. They become legends. One of them is the infamous residence located at 112 Ocean Avenue, Amityville, New York. For those who pass by, it might seem like just a charming structure with unique architecture. But behind its eye-like windows and silent walls lies a passageway to horror, a place where horrifying events have left an eternal mark. Today, we delve deep into what turned this house into one of the world's most iconic tales of terror. It all began on a cold night, November 13th, 1974. Young Ronald DeFeo Jr., known as Butch, committed one of the most brutal crimes in Amityville's history. Armed with a rifle, he went into each bedroom of the house and murdered his parents, Ronald and Louise, and his 4 siblings, Dawn, Allison, Mark, and John Matthew, while they slept. The gunshots echoed through the house, yet strangely, no neighbors reported hearing them. Even more peculiar, none of the victims seemed to have woken up or attempted to escape, as if something had immobilized them. During interrogation, Butch initially claimed voices from the house compelled him to commit the crime. Later, he confessed to the act, but the mystery of the voices was never fully explained. This brutal tragedy not only devastated a family, but also opened the doors to something far more sinister. A year after the murders, George and Kathy Lutz purchased the house for an incredibly low price, just $80,000. Despite being aware of the home's bloody history, they decided it was the perfect place to start a new life with their 3 children. However, as soon as they stepped inside, they felt something was off, as though they were being watched. Kathy described a constant chill running down her spine, while George seemed increasingly absorbed and uncomfortable. They tried to dismiss these feelings, but the inexplicable events soon became impossible to ignore. The initial days were marked by minor occurrences, foul odors appearing out of nowhere, cold spots in certain rooms, and doors opening and closing on their own. But as the weeks passed, the manifestations escalated. George, who had always been a rational man, began waking up at exactly 3:15 a.m. every night, the estimated time of the DeFeo murders. He also developed a strange obsession with the basement, claiming to feel a malevolent presence there. Kathy, on the other hand, reported being touched by invisible hands and frequently found mysterious marks appearing on her body. The Lutz children were not spared. One of them reported seeing a creature with glowing red eyes staring through the window. This creature was described as a demonic pig, later becoming an infamous part of the Amityville Haunting legend. During an inspection of the basement, George uncovered a small hidden compartment that was not listed in the house's blueprints. The walls of this secret room were painted blood red, and the area exuded an unbearable stench. For George and Kathy, this room was the source of the malevolent energy that seemed to permeate the entire house. They called a priest to bless the home, but the ritual ended in disaster. The priest claimed to have heard a guttural voice commanding, "Get out." Shortly after, he suffered high fevers and inexplicable blisters appeared on his hands. The paranormal activity reached an unbearable peak. The walls of the house began oozing a green, viscous substance, while swarms of FLIs infested certain rooms despite the harsh winter. Objects floated through the air, doors slammed violently, and whispers could be heard echoing through the hallways. George and Kathy began having recurring nightmares about the DeFeo murders. George claimed to have seen Kathy levitating above their bed one night. Her face frozen in a mask of terror, the family decided to flee, abandoning all their belongings. They left so quickly that they even left behind important personal items. Shortly after the Lutz family fled, renowned paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren were called in to investigate the house. Using their specialized equipment, they captured one of the most disturbing images in history, a ghostly apparition of a child with glowing eyes, which many believe to be the spirit of one of the DeFeo children. Lorraine declared that the house was under the influence of an extremely powerful demonic presence, possibly summoned through ancient rituals performed on the property. Over the years, the authenticity of the events reported by the Lutz family has been questioned. Some believe they fabricated the story to profit from book and film rights. However, many investigators who visited the house confirmed that something was undeniably wrong with the place. The house itself has gone through several owners over the decades, but none have stayed for long. Despite renovations and an attempt to change the address number, the stigma remains. The story of the Amityville house continues to haunt the public imagination. Whether it was an elaborate hoax or one of the most disturbing paranormal cases of all time, it serves as a chilling reminder that some places seem to harbor pure evil. And you? Would you dare spend a night in Amityville? Or would you prefer to keep this house where it belongs, in the realm of legends and nightmares?